So, season one ended at reset yesterday. Little underwhelming, because we have this 6 day cooldown, waiting on that thing to tally, which probably just means the devs are behind schedule and haven't done what they're supposed to do yet. But hey, who am I to judge? Uh, but what I want to talk about is when it ended, Hero Initiative Day also started, and it was super underwhelming this time. And I'll explain to you why. So I went ahead and I've done all of my due diligence already because you guys don't want to see me click on tickets and this, that, and the other. I mean, that's not the kind of ASMR I think we're about here. We want to see results and the whys. So let's talk about the whys and whats real quick. So here's the rundown. I had about 300 of these fragments. I had about 6,500, 7,000 of these orange skill books. And I had about 300 plus on the recruitment tickets. And I also had, because season ended, 240 season one tickets. The season one tickets give you the opportunity to unlock any season one heroes that you don't have already. And if you do have them, you should get some fragments that you could either one, use to star them up some more, or two, increase their level in the Hall of Honor. Now, here's where it was underwhelming for me. So as I'm going through and I'm clicking, keep in mind the amount of numbers that we just talked about in tickets, a total of 540 tickets. The season one tickets are the exact same as the regular recruitment tickets, okay? If you pop one of these, it's going to look just like that. And it's going to flip out a hero, maybe the one you want, maybe not. It's just a crapshoot. And you don't get to choose them, right? So I think some of the misconception was, man, I got all these tickets. I'm going to choose Oliveira. And I'm going to just, use 240 tickets on Oliveira. Doesn't work like that, unfortunately. It is the same exact method as the regular tickets. It's just flipping cards and hopefully you get lucky. But in my case, I did not. I got a lot of one times cards, and I think maybe 2 or 3 10 times cards out of 240 tickets. And most of them were Oliveira. I already have her 5-starred, so basically she got a level or 2 in the Hall of Honor. That was it. Now, on a positive note, it did help me with a couple of other heroes. Well, not a couple. I mean, it was basically just Nyx. So Nyx is now 4-starred, and that's good, man. Her 4-star is pretty cool because it's whether she's deployed or not. All the shooters' damage is increased by 10%. So I was aiming to 4-star Nyx anyway. I've been buying her out of the daily, and that was helpful for me on that end. Excuse me. And the other part was I managed to get 2 wedges on Selena, so that was good as well. But keep in mind, I also had 300 of the frags. Or I'm sorry, maybe it was 200. Whatever the case. I wasn't able to get much out of what I did on Hero Initiative Day with the season ending and having these extra tickets and whatnot that came through. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So at the turn of yesterday, at the reset, my hero power right here was 32 million and some change. Now I'm at 33 million and some change. I was only able to bump up 1 million for the total hero power. Now, where it was cool was because of some of the star wedges. I had 2,500 power cores, and like I said, I had 6,000 plus of the orange skill books. I was able to bump formation 1 up the 48,200,000. That was previously at like 46,300,000. So pretty good increase there, in my opinion. And it never hurts when you're going through doing your heroes. And I've talked about this in a couple of other videos. What I used the power cores on was this first wedge on the 2nd star of each piece of equipment on there. That gives a nice power boost out of that. Then you got the meat of that star, the other 3 that give a decent amount of power, but not as good as the first and last. So I think, next week's Hero Initiative, I'm going to do a little bit of research on how I want to go about that. Do I want to start trying to 2-star up all the way down? maybe. But I'm for sure going to 2-star everything in Oliveira since she's at the first spot in the formation. And then I might even 3-star one of these just as a flex move, you know, like HQ27 dude's got 3-star on some of his gear, you know, kind of thing. I don't know. I gotta think about that. Let me know in the comments what I should do. And I'll probably not do that and still 3-star one of these. yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. Anyway, back to the end result here. I was able to bump up Formation 2. This was at like 15 million. That's at 17.7. So that looks good. That is a Wings of Dawn March. So at 17.7, it's going to hit above its weight class for anybody that's running the rows. So I think that worked out well in my favor. Formation 3 did not change much. In fact, I don't think it changed at all. I think it was 8.9 million yesterday. But this one, because of all of the blue fragments and blue skill books, that went up like 1.5 million power. I don't even use this march for anything in the field. All this thing does is it auto joins boomer rallies. But, you know, I'm not complaining. That was like no effort. And another cool part too is look at all the blues. They're almost all 5-starred. And most of these are training speed increase or gathering speed on these blue guys here. So this is going to be a decent little bump when you go to 5-star these. So there you go. Gathering speed. We saw the training speed. So yeah, I'm not disappointed there at all. Whether or not we get to keep all these heroes in Season 2 remains to be seen. Maybe they let us and add some more. No clue. Haven't looked into it. Haven't researched it. If you know, let me know. But overall, it was a very underwhelming season ending. And the same applies to Hero Initiative Day. I was a little underwhelmed, mostly. You know, I wanted that overall hero power to go up a little bit more, the total hero power. But I'm okay with having a 2 million bump on my formation. I don't think anybody would complain there. So next steps are going to be to 5-star. Since I know Selena is going to be in my primary march for Blood Rose, I will be 5-starring her. Now this skill is valid upon March, which means if she's deployed, you're going to get that. But I'll take this 15% increase on assault or attack. So not complaining there. It's not a global effect like, you know, some of the other ones, but some of the other ones have kind of crappy global effects anyway. At least, you know, in here, sure, it's resource cost, but you know, the attack and defense boosts apply to all unit types. So not a horrible one to do as 5-star. This one, however, you know, I'm not in a rush. That global effect is kind of minimal. It's meh at best. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for you. Just kind of wanted to give you an update on what happens, you know, the day of Season 1 ending. And especially if that ends on Hero Initiative Day for everybody. Don't have high hopes unless you're free to play. If you're free to play and you get those tickets, hell yes. You're about to unlock some heroes you didn't get. And once they're unlocked, you can use generic fragments on those to start starring them up and add them to your formation and getting to utilize them. Especially since they all have special gear. You can start unlocking that as well for minimal cost, and I'm sure you can get it for free, you know, through the merit shop and things of that nature. So free-to-play players, you're going to love that. For those of us that already have all the Season 1 heroes, it was kind of, you know, and I can't express that in any other way. I mean, it wasn't awesome. It wasn't horrible. I guess the only term I can come up with in my head is underwhelming. But anyway, that's all I got for you on Hero Initiative / Season 1 end. By the way, I've added links in the description. The Discord's still there, and also a TikTok. I started a TikTok because the wife says, dude, you need a TikTok. Get one. I said, all right, well, I'm going to do it. Hold my beer. I did a short on that yesterday. But check out the other videos if you have any questions. If you got any questions on this video, let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. Otherwise, y'all take it easy. I'll catch you on the next one.